Okay, let's go ahead and let's just read all these verses, because this is really good. And you know what? I think you can even get some insight. If there's in these verses from Ephesians chapter 5, from basically verse 22 right down to the end of the chapter, 22 down to verse 33. All of these verses are paralleling the relationship of a husband and a wife to the relationship of Jesus and the church. And you know what's so amazing about this? I mean, you can go through this whole thing, and let's just go ahead and read it real quick, and then I'll tell you what I was going to tell you. It says, "Wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he's the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject to Christ, let wives also be subject to their husbands." And that word subject basically means to defer to them. Husbands and wives are put together to help one another. There's times where I will defer to her. And I will say, "Hon, what you think about this? What you think about this? What do you think we should do?" Now, when we say that to one another, that in itself is submitting. Submitting to your mate is not doing something that's wrong. If your mate is wrong, I know people quote that verse back out of 1 Peter that it says, Sarah called Abraham Lord. Well, that basically doesn't mean he was Lord of her life. That means he was the head of the house. He was the head of the house. And she deferred to him. If you want to see the act of Sarah submitting to Abraham, it's when you don't even see her. It's back in Genesis chapter 12, where God told Abraham, get out of your house, get out of your family, leave your land, leave your homeland, and go to a place that I'm going to show you. And Sarah could have said, "What do you mean? You have lost your mind. I don't want to leave my family." Nope, you don't see that Sarah said anything. She was hooking up with her husband and deferring to him as he was following God. And that is where you should be deferring to your husband as he's following God. That's what should be happening. If he's telling you to do sinful things, wrong, wrong, wrong. If he's being mean to you, being mean to the kids, beating up on you, abusing, no, you don't have to put up with that. You do not have to put up with that. That's not what this word teaches. The husband relationship is one that protects, it's one that cherishes, it's one that loves, just like Christ does the church. Jesus doesn't abuse us and beat up on us.